Hi guys, and welcome to the 6th and final week of the beginners videos of Year 6 into 7 from the Emmbrook School Maths Department. I hope you've enjoyed them. I hope you found that you've been successful in a number of parts of them, a number of questions as well. I hope if you've been really successful, you've moved on and had a go at the intermediate questions as well. And I hope all of this has just helped to keep you ticking along during your summer holidays. Sorry it's a bit late this week, I've been away on holiday. But you still have a week left to do it because we'll see you next Thursday. I'm really looking forward to that. So as always, have a go at the questions. Remember to say things as sentences. Use Google to have a little search for stuff if you're not quite sure. Try and interpret in different ways. See how you get on. And then if you want to pause the video now to have a go at those questions, the next screen you'll see will be me flicking up the answers. So there you go, well done. There's your final set of answers from questions 1 through to 10. Have a little look through. What mistakes did you make? Can you sort them out for yourself? Was it just a little numerical error there that you've made perhaps in question 5 and things like that? And if you're still not sure, then watch the rest of the video or flick through to the question that you want. Remembering that again, I'll cross off the questions as I go so you know where you are in the video. Okay, so for question 1 then, let's go to our column method for addition. Add these two numbers together. Doesn't really matter which one you put on top in addition because the number is just going to get larger from either place. It doesn't matter on our number line. So let's have 432 plus 895. Let's get started then. So our first addition is 5 add 2, that gives us 7. Our next one is 9 add 3, that gives us 12. Okay, so I'll put down my 2 and carry my 1 over from my 12. And finally, do 8 add 4, which is another 12, but I carried that 1. So then we end up with 13. And if we say that number, that's 1,327. Okay, so on to question 2. It's really important with these questions that you say them out loud to see if you understand really what they mean, because otherwise it looks like a bit of a mess. So I say find 1/8 of 160 or find an eighth. Okay, now we'll be quite used perhaps to finding a half. So if we find a half of something, that just means break it into 2 equal bits or divide it into 2. If I want to find a quarter of something, I would break it up into 4 equal bits or divide it by 4. So if I want to find 1/8 of something, I just want to divide it up into 8 equal bits. So we could rewrite this question as what is 160 divided by 8, or broken up into 8 equal bits. Okay, now some of you might spot the answer to that straight away. You might have an association with 8 and 16. If not, let's go to what we know. So we know a nice bus stop method. So how many 8s do go into 160? Well, 8s don't go into 1. So we'll carry that 1 over onto the 6. How many 8s go into 16? So I've got our 8 times table, so it goes 8. If I add another 8, and you can use your fingers for that, that's fine. We go up to 16, so we can get 2 8s. So 2 times 8 is 16. So how many 8s go into 16? 2. How many 8s go into 0? None. Okay, so 160 divided by 8 is 20. It's really important to remember that's the same calculation as 20 times 8 is 160. Now some of you may have remembered that 2 times 8 is 16. So you can see if I make that whole calculation 10 times bigger, 20 times 8 would be 160. So you might have been able to jump to the answer once you realise what the calculation was. Okay, so question 3, what is 21:37 in the 12-hour clock time? So they want us to use here AM or PM. Are we before midday or after midday? Okay, so on our clock then, once we reach 12 o'clock midday, okay, that's our 12 p.m. 12 a.m. is midnight, okay? Now, we've got, this is my hours and these are my minutes. So 21 hours have passed since midnight. So 12 hours past takes us to midday at 12 o'clock, lunchtime perhaps. And I've still got to keep going, okay? I've got to go all the way up to 21 hours. So how many more hours do I need to get through? Well, if you count through 12 to 21, so 12, 13, 14, 15, etc. That's 9 more hours to add on, okay? So I must have moved from 12 p.m. to 21, which actually is the same as 9 o'clock. Let's just count through just in case we're not sure. So that's 12 p.m. When the hour hand touches the 1, that would be 13 hours past midnight, or 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 1 p.m. Okay, and then 14 would be 2 p.m., 15, 3 p.m., etc. 16, 17, 18 is 6 p.m., 19, 20, and then 21. It's a bit too long, isn't it? But that would be 9 p.m., okay, in the evening. So we would have 9 hours past midday, and we've still got those 37 minutes. And to show that we're past midday, we put the PM there on our time. Okay, so for question 4, continue the pattern. Let's just figure out first what's going on. So if I move from 100 to 125, I've added on 25. Okay, so I add on, I do 100 plus 25, that gets me to 125. So now we've got a rule for our pattern, add on 25. So our next calculation will be 125, add 25. And some of you might be really quick with this and go, oh, 25 by 25, that's 50. Okay, but if we're not sure, we've always got a method. So let's add on 25, 5 add 5 is 10, 2 add 2 is 4, and 1 more is 5, and then 1 add nothing is 1. So we've got 150. Let's add on another 25. So we do 150 add 25. So 0 add 5 is 5, 5 add 2 is 7, and 1 add nothing is 1. So we've got 175. And you can keep going. So add on the next 25 and you'll find you'll get to 200. Add on another 25 and you'll get to 225. This number pattern is actually really quite important. So you get 4 25s for every 100. Okay, so we add on 25, we get to 125, another 25, another 25, and finally a fourth 25 gets me to the next 100 at 200. Okay, right, so next one is a subtraction. So this time it doesn't matter which way around we put it. So let's do our subtraction. So we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 2,345, we're actually important to say those numbers, minus 1,682. Okay, let's start with our units. So 5 take away 2, that's 3, that's all good. 4 tens take away 8 tens, I can't do that without going into the negatives, which I don't want to do, so I'm going to have to borrow from the hundreds columns. So let's borrow 100, so that goes down from 3 down to a 200, and we pop this 1 on here, so now we have 100, we actually have 140, that's what 14 tens means in this column. So 140 take away 80, but we can read it as 14 take away 8, so that's 6 tens, 60. 200 take away 600, can't do that, so I'll borrow again. So I'll borrow 1,000 this time and pop it onto my 200. So now I have 1,200. Take away 600, or 12 take away 6, which is 6. And then finally 1 take away 1, which is nothing. So our answer is 663. Okay. Right, divide 8 by 100. This is a sort of question people are quite nervous about because we think, oh, division, maybe a bus stop or something like that, which would work. But when we're dividing by tens, hundreds, or thousands, think straight away to go to our number columns, okay? And it's just moving it to the left or to the right. So we'll start in our units, and that's where our 8 lives. Put a decimal point, and then we'll have tenths and hundreds to move into. Okay, so we're going to divide it by 100, so we're going to move it 2 places to the right of the decimal place. It's going to get smaller because we're dividing. Okay, I shouldn't say that, actually, it's not always the case. So if we move it once, we'll end up with the 8 in the tenths, and then if we move it again, we'll